Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. I still remember my humble self, MC Benedino. Thank you very much for always coming back to this YouTube channel. Alright, on today's episode I've brought some news, some updates on Canada immigration, especially for those that want to migrate into Canada. Do you know that West is now accepting application now? Yes, they were closed for some time, but they are now back accepting application. Also, as an international student, your visa is expired. Do you know you can actually apply for implied status? Yes, you can do that. So I'm going to stay tuned. I'll be back. Grab a cup of water. Back. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, this is Canada Reality with MC Bernardino, where I dish out information for those that want to migrate into Canada and those that are already in Canada. So if this is your first time, take some few minutes, subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's a notification bell beside it. Click on it so that anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. And if you enjoyed this video, likewise, please hit the likes button. That's the least you can do. Thank you very much. All right, without further delay, so today I'll be giving you the latest updates on Canada immigration so that you stay acquainted. Some of you might have seen this news before, but I'll be breaking it down for you. Alright, first on the list is that West is back and is accepting application. Hooray. So you want to agree with me that because of COVID-19, because of the pandemic that's ravaging the world, they stopped accepting application at the point in time, but they are back now. So visit their website west.org for additional information on this. So you can now send your results to them for evaluation. And you know, if you want to come into Canada through provincial nominee, through express entry, whatever route you want to come into Canada, you need to evaluate your international result to Canadian standard. Alright, so that's why you need to do that. So if you want to do that and you've been held back, now you can do it. Tell your school to send this transcript, hard copy or soft copy electronically, whichever way. West is going to evaluate the result for you and you can go ahead with your application to migrate into Canada. Okay, so another news that I've got for you today is that working hours for international students have been extended from 20 hours. Ooh, that's a good news. You want to agree with me that previously as an international student, if you're on academic session, you can do more than 20 hours while your school is on academic session. And while you're on break, you can do more than 20 hours. I mean, you can do 40 hours and above. But now, because of this COVID-19, now Federal Canada Immigration Canada government, they decided to relax the rule now, so you can do more than 20 hours even if your school is on academic session, as far as it's not affecting your study. But you need to be working in any of these 10 sectors in order for you to be qualified. Energy utility sector, telecommunication sector, technology sector rather, finance sector, health sector, food sector, government, manufacturing. They are up to 10. I'll be linking it in the video description below. So if you're working in any of these sectors, you can do more than 10 hours while you're studying in Canada. That's a good news. It's another way for people to make more money while they're also trying to contribute their best to ensure that Canada overcome this COVID-19, this whole pandemic. So if you're in any of this sector, you are allowed to work more than 10 hours. But if you're not in any of this sector, you might not want to do that because there may be a fine for that. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying this video that I brought for you today. If you enjoyed it, please hit on the likes button. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's a notification bell beside it. Click on it so anytime I drop a video, you'll be among the first to get it. Alright, next on my news is that implied status. What does implied status mean? So now, because of this pandemic, I mean, take for instance, hypothetically, you apply for study permit and you apply for extension of your work permit or your study permit, whatever, that is expiring very soon. And Canada Immigration, you haven't heard back from them, and you're wondering, oh, should I continue to work in? Oh, my work permit is expired and I've applied, they haven't gotten back to me. Hooray, you can continue to work in, because according to the immigration news, it states that now implied status is now being applied, meaning that if you apply for study or work permit extension and you haven't had back, you can continue to work, especially if you are contributing towards the reduction, towards the spread of this pandemic spread. So you can continue to work while Canada Immigration get back to you. So that means that you are under implied status and you are still allowed and you are still allowed to work in Canada. So don't be perturbed about it. Despite the fact that your application, your study permit, your work permit is expired or has expired, you can still continue to work in as much as you have applied for the extension and they haven't gotten back to you. Next on the list of news that I brought for you today, on the update that I brought for you today, is on the latest express entry draw. Now, in the recent past, two were done since the last video I did. So the last one was done on, the second to the last one rather, was done on April 29th, and it was done majorly for provincial nominee program, and the CRS score was pegged at 692. I know that's really huge, and it's only geared towards those that have applied for provincial nominee and those were chosen from the provincial nominee application, either from any of the provinces. And that's why I keep saying that if you haven't applied for the provincial nominee, despite the fact that your score is low in the CRS pool, in the express entry pool, why not still apply? Because some provinces are still looking out in the pool for some qualification, for some education, for some profession rather, that they really want in their province. So that's why I keep saying that still apply, because in order for people to when you get the provincial nominee, that simply means that the province is going to give you additional 600. So now, based on the last draw that was done on April 29, which was pegged at 692, that means that the least person had 92 points in the express entry. So why don't you just go into the poll? Because who knows, you might be chosen based on your profession and based on your experience. And the recent draw that was done today, I mean, some few minutes before I start shooting this video, was done, and the CRS score was pegged at 452. That is a reduction from the last CEC draw that was done 2 weeks ago, which was pegged at 455. I know the draw is 452, but it's only geared towards those that are applying for Canadian experience class, majorly for those that are presently in Canada. So if you're outside Canada, that might not really work for you. The only ones that work for those that are outside Canada will be the Federal Skilled Trade and also the Federal Skilled Worker, FSW. But the one that was done today was only geared towards CEC, Canadian Experience Class. But still, I still don't want you to be perturbed. If you are not chosen, very soon they might do a draw for the Federal Skilled Worker, Federal Skilled Trade Workers also, and you might be chosen. So keep your fingers crossed, create your pool, create your express entry pool. If you have all the required documents, create your pool and remain in the pool, because who knows, something good might come up very soon. Do you have any question based on everything I've said today? You don't understand anything I've said today? Do you have any concern? Feel free to drop it in the comment section below. I try as much as possible to revert back as soon as I can. If you have any concern, please drop it in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video too, why not spread the love? Share it among your loved ones. Share it on the social media. Thank you very much. All right, next on my news will be that if you submit an incomplete application in the past, an incomplete application is always rejected and you have to start all over again. Now, for Canada Immigration, they've been so relaxed, they've brought the news that if you submit an incomplete application, now they'll be more relaxed with you. They give you additional 90 days to resubmit whatever is missing. That's a good news. So if you submit an incomplete application and they got back to you to provide some documents, you don't need to be perturbed, you don't need to be worried, you don't need to think whether probably they're going to throw you or trash your application or whatever. No, they're probably going to give you another 90 days. For that 3 months for you to resubmit your application. That's a good news, because they also know that probably it could be because of the COVID-19, because of the pandemic. That's why you could not submit a comprehensive application. So if that is your situation, don't be worried about that. You've got another 3 months for you to rectify the errors. That's good news that I would like to share with, especially for international students that are presently studying in Canada, is that, and also the very good news for those of you that are outside Canada that wants to come into Canada to come and study. All right, by extension, Canada government have decided to include this international student into the CERB benefit. That's the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. So that means that as an international student, if you're over 15 years of age, you have your SIN number, and you've worked and you've made over 5,000 in the last 1 year, you are qualified to enroll and to apply for the CERB, meaning that you'll be getting 2,000 Canadian dollars every month for the next 4 months. That's a very good news, because Canada government, they actually felt that international students are not left out of this loss of job, layoff that is presently happening to most employees in Canada right now. As a result of that, they decided to extend this to international students, and majority because of most of these international students, they don't get financial support except from their parents from back home and guidance back home. So how do they get money? So that's why they have decided to also include them in this CERB benefit. So as an international student, you are qualified for this. If you meet these criteria that I've just mentioned, I'll be linking in the description below website to how you can actually go about applying for it. So that's a good news for international students. I mean, you are being covered despite the fact that you're on temporary resident permit in Canada. You are still covered to apply for the CERB. viewers, I hope I've been able to educate you enough today, and I've been able to enlighten you on some of the information as regards to those that are in Canada or those that wants to migrate into Canada. Firstly, I told you about the West. The West is back and they are accepting applications. So if you want to evaluate your results, your transcript result, you can continue to do that, either sending the hard copy to them or you want to send the electronic soft copy to them online. That's okay. And also I brought to you the latest 2 draws, express entry draw that was done by Canada Immigration. The first one that was done on April 29 was geared towards provincial nominee, and the second one that was done today was geared towards CEC, Canadian Experience Class. In addition to that, I also brought you the news that as an international student that is presently studying in Canada, if you have lost your job and you meet the eligibility criteria, you are allowed to apply for the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. That is the CERB, meaning that you get 2,000 Canadian dollars for the next 4 months. That's 8,000. That is whooping money, and that is fine. In addition to that, I told you about the implied status, meaning that if you have a study permit or your work permit and it's expired, but you have applied for extension, but Canada Immigration, they haven't gotten back to you, you can still continue to work because you are under implied status. Last but not the least, I told you about the if you submit an incomplete application in the past, they just trash it and they throw it in the trash, and probably you have to start again. But now Canada Immigration, IRCC, they discovered that because of this pandemic, they need to give additional time, and as a result of that, they are giving additional 90 days for those that have submitted incomplete application to actually rectify that and resubmit it. So if you have any question, any concern based on what I've said today, you don't understand or you need further clarification, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. And also, if you're outside Canada or you're in Canada, you want to share your experience wherever you are, what you're facing right now based on this pandemic, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. Let us interact and I'll be getting back to you as soon as I can. All right, once again, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, hit the likes button, share this video with your loved ones, anybody that feel might want to benefit from this. Till I come back to you again with another scintillating video, see your own boy MC Bernardino on Canada Reality. One love. Please subscribe.